Our next expert, ladies and gentlemen, this guy's a gastroenterologist from Gleneagles Hospital, Singapore. Now, we're here to talk about alcohol, diet, and your liver. For those of you who drink and you love drinking, you enjoy drinking, you can't stop, put it in the chat right now. I love to drink, right? Because this man here will be here to teach us on how it affects you, your liver. Now, some of you have questions. Now, we're seeing it on screen right now. You know, those liver detox pills that you take, or hangover aids that you drink before you start drinking. Does it help? This man here will be answering those questions. If not now, then at the end of the Q&A. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me as we welcome gastroenterologist from Gleneagles Hospital, Dr. Hock Foong.
Hello, James. Thank you for having me. Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you for joining in the webinar, and I hope it will be a useful afternoon for you. I'm Dr. Hock Foong. I work at Gleneagles Hospital as a gastroenterologist. I deal with digestive and liver disease, and today I will be speaking on a topic very close to our hearts: liver, diet, and alcohol. In many cultures, the figurative heart, for example, in the Malay culture is called hati, is actually our liver. And it is the center of our body's metabolic functions. And therefore, what we eat, what we drink, go through the liver, and there are consequences if this is not done properly. And first of all, let me introduce you to this very important organ called the liver. It is the largest solid organ in our body. It serves like a factory for our body. And therefore, there are functions that it performs akin to a factory. It stores vitamins, energy, minerals. It produces many things like proteins, clotting factors, carrier proteins that help bring substances around the body. It is important in the detoxification of things that we do not need, or after we've taken medicines to make the medicine inactive, hormones to make it inactive, and then this is then excreted or carried away as waste in bile. But bile also serves a function of helping digest oil, and so fat digestion is very important. Last and not least, it is very important in the interchange of energy between different food substances such as proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, what we call the metabolic function of the liver. So how do we then damage the liver? The liver is damaged when the individual cells in the liver are injured by whatever external or internal factors. It could be viruses, it could be your own autoantibodies, it can be medications. So once it's damaged, the healthy liver will develop what is called inflammation. Very much like when you get a burn on your skin, it is inflamed and red. But that will heal once the injury is removed. But if that continues, then we get scarring. For example, if the burn is very deep, then we get permanent scars. So this scarring can get permanent, and in the liver is called cirrhosis. And that's an irreversible stage of damage, and it can lead to problems such as liver failure because the cells are all depleted and no longer serves its function, and liver cancer. So when the factory is damaged, the constituents are broken down. So storage facility is affected, the person gets weakness, weight loss. It doesn't produce many of the important things such as clotting factors, so bleeding is more likely to happen. Infections are easier to take place. Detoxification does not occur normally, so drugs sometimes are in toxic levels to the body. The bile is not carried away properly, so it causes the bile to be pushed back into the body. The eyes turn yellow, the urine turns dark. That is called jaundice. And then when energy is not produced, the person gets low blood sugar, and that's often a feature of end-stage liver disease. I want you to know of two important traits of our liver because that helps you understand why diseases present late when it affects the liver. First, it is a very uncomplaining organ. the symptoms do not show until the very advanced stage of damage. Because the liver has a lot of functional reserves, about 2/3 of the liver need to be damaged before it can show symptoms to the individual. And the second feature is that it is an organ of incredible regenerative capacity. It is very good at self-repair. So if one were to donate your liver to another person, normally about 2/3 of your liver is removed. That 2/3 will repair itself to the original volume within 6 to 8 weeks, and that is incredible. So then, what is the role or harm of alcohol? As all of us know, that alcohol is harmful to the liver. First of all, why do we drink? I think we drink because the alcohol makes us feel better. It creates certain feel-good feelings, and therefore we continue to drink. It all started as cavemen who ate fermented fruits, not knowing that they contain alcohol, and then we now have modern-day drinking. We drink with good company because the alcohol causes a bit of disinhibition. We talk more, we are less reserved. But when we take more alcohol, then it will depress our sensations, our mood. So we drink to drown out our sorrows or our pains. And then it becomes a cultural thing. And sometimes there's peer pressure. When everyone drinks, we feel forced to be part of the company, to be cool. But alcohol is toxic to the liver in excess. And how does it do that? Well, first of all, alcohol is broken down into 2 steps into a useful compound called acetate, which is energy. And this requires 2 enzymes, alcohol dehydrogenase and aldehyde dehydrogenase. The mid product is acetaldehyde, and that is toxic if it is retained and not converted to acetate. So acetaldehyde damages the liver, damages DNA, and that increases risk for cancer. And some races, especially the Oriental races, have individuals who have less acetaldehyde dehydrogenase, then they accumulate acetaldehyde more easily. These people flush on drinking, and therefore the downstream ill effects are higher. And therefore the causes, apart from the liver, are multitude and multi-organ. For example, it can damage the heart, it damages the brain, causes dementia, damage the pancreas, causes pancreatic failure, damages the reproductive organs, and it can lead to reduced libido, and in addition to just damaging the liver. And alcohol is one of the major causes of many cancers in the body. In women, breast cancer is higher if they drink. In men, colon cancer, liver cancer, throat cancer, pancreatic cancer, esophagus cancer are higher. So is there a safe drinking limit? Because many of us enjoy our drinks, but we do not want to damage our body. First of all, to know that, we need to know how to measure the alcohol units. The easiest way in my view is to just see it as units. 1 unit is 1 small serving of alcohol, whether it's a glass of wine or a shot of liquor or half a pint of beer or a can of beer. And that is about 10 to 14 grams. And what is safe is based on studies actually that showed in the past that when we drink, the initial low volume actually helps our body. There is an improvement in health, but beyond 2 units a day, then the alcohol damage will start to accumulate. So that leads to the recommendation and to say that the improvement in health in the early stages of drinking or in the small amounts of drinking is due to improve heart health or cardiovascular risk. So this is safe drinking limits in most countries. This is from the British Chief Medical Officer, and it's also the recommendation in Singapore that men and women should not drink more than 14 units of alcohol a week. That translates to 14 glasses of wine or 2 glasses of wine a day. But is that true? I hate to be a wet blanket, but this year WHO has told us that there is no safe level of alcohol consumption. And why is that? And this is because there are new studies coming up to show that there is just a cumulative increase in risk for poor health with any amount of alcohol consumed. The benefit on the heart disease is taken away because of the risk of cancer that has increased. And therefore, it causes the same kind of long-term injury if we do not stop drinking in excess, leading to scarring, cirrhosis, liver failure, liver cancer. In addition, if we drink a lot over a short period of time, we can create an acute inflammation of the liver called alcoholic hepatitis, and that can independently cause liver failure even before there is scarring. So next, I shall be speaking about diet, Singaporeans' favorite pastime, to eat. Your diet actually can help your liver, but it can also harm your liver. And how can that be? It harms through causing fatty liver. Fatty liver is caused by a number of different reasons. For example, if you are sedentary, if we have diabetes, if we have a genetic predisposition. But a lot of it is actually from excessive consumption of unhealthy food. And these are the sad facts about fatty liver. It is now the new epidemic of liver disease the world is facing, both in developed countries and developing countries. It is very common. About 25% of the population or more have fatty liver. It is getting more common. It is increased, at least doubled over the past 20 years, and it is therefore caused an increasing healthcare burden, not just in liver conditions, but in heart conditions, diabetes, and cancers, because fatty liver leads on to all these issues. And when the liver issues come, cancers will need treatment. There will be liver failure needing transplantation. Transplantation is now a common reason to be done for fatty liver. In America, it is the second top reason for transplant of the liver. And how does it develop? It develops through the imbalance of the calorie-activity balance. When we eat, the food that we eat becomes energy. And if we were to expend that, then the balance is right. But if we do not use up this energy, the extra food, regardless of whether it's carbohydrate, fats, or protein, it will be converted to fat cells to be stored in the liver as batteries, if you can imagine it in that way, to be ready to be used when we need energy and not eating. So if there is an imbalance of the calorie activity scale, one can easily envisage that extra food will then become fats in the liver, and when there is more than 5% of storage, it is called fatty liver. And like alcohol, it can cause the same chain of events to damage the liver. The healthy liver will store fat. The fat can become toxic, especially if the individual is prone to diabetes. And this toxic fat will cause inflammation, and the inflammation will cause scarring, cirrhosis, liver cancer, liver failure. So what can we do about it? First, we identify what are the sources of high calories. There will be starches, processed foods, and oils. So we can reduce our starches. Starches are like rice, potatoes, pasta, and then we can also try to reduce or even altogether avoid processed foods. And lastly, of the oils that we use for cooking, we can choose the right oils that has better profile to help our liver, to help our heart health. So let's talk about processed foods. What are processed foods? Processed foods essentially are mass-produced foods produced in factories, and they often have scale of production as well as economy of scale. Cost is important. They will source out cheaper ingredients if possible. So they contain sweeteners because we like our food sweet, and the common sweetener is fructose. It's called high fructose corn syrup because corn is produced in large quantities and cheaply in these countries. They contain oils. Sometimes the oils are not healthy. These are called hydrogenated oils or trans fat. Of course, we're getting more aware, and the processed foods are now veering towards a healthier profile. And not to mention, they are usually high in salt. And why is fructose bad? Why is fructose dangerous? That's because fructose, as a form of sugar, can only be handled by our liver, and the liver can handle only up to a certain amount of fructose. This is different from glucose, where our brain, our muscles all can use up the energy, the food, the glucose that we eat. So for example, if we were to take a glass of orange juice, it will contain 5 oranges maybe, so that would have exceeded the 2 a day that the liver can handle. So the extra will all be converted to fat to be stored in the liver. So it is the fastest way to get fatty liver, and that's by taking fructose. This is just a little comparison. You can see soft drinks such as Sprite, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, they all contain about the same amount of calories and same amount of sugar. And you can look at the various fruit juices, grape juice, pineapple, cranberry, apple, what we think are healthy. So we drink and encourage our children to drink because there's lots of vitamins inside. But what we need to know is there's a lot of fructose in there, and taken in excess, it will harm our liver. And it has been shown in many, many trials done scientifically that taking extra fruits in individuals with fatty liver increases the severity of fatty liver. Just 2 more fruits compared to the 2. So 4 fruits a day actually harm individuals with fatty liver. And renowned publications and health sites actually have warned us on the danger of fructose on the liver. So friends, don't drink your fruits. Just eat your fruits, and maybe 2 fruits a day. So finally, what can you do to help yourself to ensure that your liver is healthy, that you do not subject it to the damage? First of all is to keep it in the red zone, the healthy zone, and lifestyle is the key. I have shared with you the tips on alcohol consumption, the safe limit being 14 units a week for keeping the liver safe, but beware of the risk of cancers even under that level. I've shared with you how to modify your diet to encourage a good profile of diet that will help the liver. In addition, activity is important. You need to use up the energy and not let it be stored in the liver. So active lifestyle is important. Second is to recognize the 2 traits of your liver. It can repair itself. So when the damage is done, if you have removed the damage, it can be repaired. So if you change your lifestyle, your fatty liver will reverse. And the second thing is you know that your liver doesn't complain. So you cannot wait for your liver to tell you that it is damaged. It can only be detected through blood tests, through scans like ultrasound. So you have to be proactive to find out about it. If you have risk factors such as being sedentary, you put on some weight, you have alcohol intake that is excessive, go to your doctor. Let him check for you to find out if you have fatty liver. And lastly, the evaluation may find that you have fatty liver and of the severe variety. Do not despair. I think this 1-2 years has seen an explosion of research leading to useful medication finally, because for a long time we did not have useful medicines to help fatty liver, but finally we as liver physicians are excited because we have these coming in the pipeline, and some are already available. So consult the experts and let us assess it properly for you and give you the best treatment if that treatment is required. So please keep your liver in the pink of health. Be sensible with your eating, be active, drink responsibly, and with that, I thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Louis. Oh, I learned so much from you. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Dr. Louis.